Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
German banking economist Richard Werner was selected as a global leader for tomorrow by the World Economic Forum in Davos in 2003. Here, he tells us an insider's view of what to soon expect, and says the only way to survive the Great Reset is for us to immediately begin setting up our own banking system.
In each domicile, they should be locally set up and authorized by the local regulators, and it's a profitable investment. Banking is profitable. Yeah. So the investors would get a return while the local community would get a return, and it's a way of delaying, perhaps even preventing the introduction of CBDCs. They have literally delayed their agenda because I think it's so important to them. They've been very careful about the timing, and let's wait a little longer, let's have this crisis first, let's have COVID first, soften them up. But they've delayed because the technology was already ready around 2015 to roll out. And what people don't mention is, what do these CBDCs actually look like? At the moment, there's a bit of talk about this being phone-based apps. And yes, that is the initial phase. But what was already ready around 2015 is the ultimate goal, what they really want. Apparently, I was told by a central banker, is, CBDCs looks like a small grain of rice that they want to put under your skin, which is, in my view, a violation of human dignity. And they realize there is a hurdle. So to get people to accept this, there will be, why suddenly all the billionaires saying, let's have universal basic income? Because the story is going to be, now we've created this vast unemployment and disruption and crises. Well, we need universal basic income. You will get 2,000 euros into your account every month. But of course, to run this efficiently, we need to use the latest technology. So, you need the CBDC chip implant. But how many people will say, okay, fine, £2,000, 2,000 euros,
A surprising proportion, shockingly, obviously, to me or yourself, but we've seen years ago in Sweden, there has been a substantial small minority take-up of what's currently much larger. It's kind of like a little cylinder in stainless steel, I guess, maybe it's titanium or something, and they are doing it because they just want to. They want to be early adopters of this nonsense. So if anyone's listening and that sounds fanciful or conspiracy theorish, the fact is, in Sweden, they are taking it up, and in other places, and that's not coming out of nowhere.
The Bank for International Settlements recently published a report called Blueprint for the Future Monetary System, Improving the Old, Enabling the New. This report proposes that a central bank digital currency will serve as the new reserve currency, and calls for the digital confiscation of all physical property by assigning every real-world item its own unique digital token, which will contain rules on how each item can and cannot be used, so that each person can be controlled and conditioned directly by the central bank.
Across the millennium years is crunch time in this whole agenda, crunch time for the human race. This is the time when this network of interbreeding bloodlines wants to bring in its global fascist structure of a world government to which nation states would be administrative units, of a world central bank and a world currency, a currency that wouldn't be cash, it would be merely electronic, for which there are fundamental implications for human freedom. And also the world army, which is designed to be NATO, expanding and expanding as it is now, of course, to become the fully fledged world army, world police force. And underpinning that little lot is designed to be a microchip population, in which we are microchipped with our financial details, our medical details, etc., etc. And that would allow not only electronic tagging, people knowing where we are all the time, it would allow the external manipulation through this electronic means of our mental and emotional processes. This will happen unless the human race wakes up and wakes up fast. And to do that, we need to understand what's really going on. And to let people know that, we've got to stop beating about the bush, stop pulling punches, stop pussyfooting around, keeping information from people, oh my goodness, how will they react, and just say, this is going on, take it or leave it, Make of it what you will, but this is what's going on.
Commonwealth Bank has scrapped cash withdrawals and deposits at many branches across Australia, with customers no longer able to access their money over the counter. Telecash transactions are not available at branches, including Commonwealth Bank Place in the centre of Sydney, along with the nearby South Eveleigh, Barangaroo, Penrith and University of Sydney, which the bank now calls specialist centres. Daily Mail Australia also understands some specialist centre branches in Brisbane and Melbourne no longer permit over-the-counter cash withdrawals and deposits. Deposits and withdrawals can still be made via on-site ATMs, but for those who don't have their bank card handy, things can be much more difficult. Cardless cash withdrawals of up to $500 a day using the CommBank app are available, but for those who need more funds or don't have their phone with them, their money cannot be accessed. Customers will need to locate a branch that still does offer teletransactions and travel there. Many Aussies are outraged by the Commonwealth Bank's decision to open more cashless branches. One saying, bank branches without money, crazy. That's like having a petrol station with no fuel. Another joked, a bank without cash, that makes real sense. A third suggested that everyone change their bank where this is happening. The shift to cashless branches follows another of Australia's big four banks also making the switch with very little warning. ANZ said in March that it was stripping back some of its services and that certain branches would no longer carry physical cash. The bank didn't disclose at the time which branches would be affected, but insisted only a small number would be impacted.